good enough. So I'm probably going to be phoning it in for several vlogs here, just doing these kind of like easy to do jog movie review / rants, because I'm getting ready for my first hour of stand-up comedy. And I don't have a ton of time to sit around and edit. I've got to try to memorize a lot of things, writing out new bits, trying to get some stand-up in about Fortnite Battle Royale. And, you know, it should be fine. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get the clock started, 3, 2, 1, and start with our first movie review. And the hoodie's already coming up. Wonderful. On Netflix, Hulu, I watched Baywatch from just last year. It seemed to me at the time like it should have came out earlier. I saw stuff hyping it up in 2016. It's like, okay, wait a year. And now here's Baywatch, and it's pretty bad. It may not be as bad as people were saying it was. You see, I think that this trend of let's make fun of a TV show when we turn into a movie, as I think back at it, I think that started with Addams Family. Though I don't think that was having a go at the Addams Family, as the Addams Family is already a humorous comedy. Now we have the Brady Bunch come around, and they're making fun of the Brady Bunch. Starsky and Hutch make fun of Starsky and Hutch. And then, of course, 21 Jump Street. Very different than the source material, making fun of it. But everybody liked it because they thought the jokes were funny enough. And it had such a meager actual fan base that it didn't matter if you totally alienated them. With Baywatch, you have a certain crowd that watches Baywatch, probably not actually interested in this. Very different things. Baywatch was funny because it took itself seriously and it failed. And that's what made it funny. Here we're trying to make a comedy with people who are not necessarily funny. Dwayne Johnson, not a great lead for a comedy. Same for Zac Efron. Hell, just about everybody here isn't known for laughter. It's directed by Seth Gordon. Curiously enough, made the great King of Kong Fistful of Quarters documentary. Not a lot of good stuff since then. So, we have Dwayne Johnson playing the role of Mitch Buchannon, the lieutenant in charge of Baywatch. He's basically the David Hasselhoff character from the TV series. Though at one point David Hasselhoff shows up, not as David Hasselhoff, but as Mitch Buchanan, and they acknowledge this. And you're kind of wondering, so were they unsure if they wanted to make this a reboot or a continuation? Because that was the kind of vibe I was getting. Let's see, where'd those people go? They're that way. I'm going to go this way then. So as this is going down, we're introduced to Zac Efron. He plays some guy who was evidently on Baywatch. I've never watched a whole episode of Baywatch. It was, to my surprise, it was actually like an NBC show for one season, got canceled, then became first run syndication, and that's where everybody really got to see it. Had a different theme song even, that one that you guys know about, I'll be there, I'll be there. That didn't show up until it became a syndication show, and it grew in popularity. But, yeah, you have these characters from the show, I guess. This one that really quite surprised me, one of the brighter spots of the film was this Kelly Rohrbach, SI swimsuit model, didn't really have any acting credits, turned in a pretty decent performance here. You know, one of the few people mostly playing it straight and being an earnest, nice gal. She's in the role of Pamela Anderson's CJ Parker. Though at the end of the movie, Pamela Anderson shows up and it's like, hey, I'm CJ, I was in Hawaii. Now I'm back. I did kind of like how they mentioned how CJ seems to be going in slow motion, everybody else notices it. And then when Pamela Anderson shows up, it's in super slow motion. One of the better setups in here. They also have a bit of a jab about some of the storylines from Baywatch, the series that is. Oh hey, so we have like surfers smuggling diamonds in their surfboards. It's like something from a campy TV show. Our story here is about Priyanka Chopra showing up, acquiring some real estate, and then trying to have everybody sign away their lease so she can like own the county, I guess. But she's also a drug lord. So they have some drugs coming in, and it's like, okay, I guess that's our main plot here. Kind of a police matter, as everybody would think. Oh, but Mitch wants to take it on, right? And we have him and Zac Efron, whom really I need to just call Rock and Zac button heads the whole time. I did like how Rock would make fun of him, call him like a Backstreet Boy or NSYNC. Hey, High School Musical, boom. He's actually the guy from High School Musical. Kind of like that. But this whole movie just has a weird look to it. You can tell from the onset. I hate the way opening credits look. There's this weird cheapness to these red letters that appear. You know, they're done in a CGI program. I don't feel like it's a good look. Oh, got some kids going over this way, so we are going this way. And then you have The Rock saves a guy that was like windsurfing, but the title, the movie Baywatch, appears in the background in terrible CGI. There's also some bad green screen effects. You have these dolphins trying to act cool in the background. But a lot of the movie ends up like that. Some of the worst fire effects I've ever seen in a film. I mean, Backdraft had the first CGI fire effects in like, what, 91? Better than this. I've seen better fire effects in a sci-fi original from Asylum. You don't believe me? Go. In this movie, there's this yacht that catches fire, or rather doesn't. And then The Rock has to go aboard, look for people. And it looks absolutely terrible. It doesn't look like fire at all, it just looks smeary. So, eventually, The Rock gets too close to this operation, and then they get him fired. And he has to go sell phones at the Sprint store. And then Zac's put in charge, and he's there kind of reluctantly. He's a gold medal swimmer. He didn't really earn his spot aboard Baywatch, but was put in there because it's part of his parole, I guess. Or it's keeping him out of jail to act as sort of a cop. As weird as that is. Right now I'm wondering what I stepped in. But they get closer to this drug thing. They realize that they're sneaking stuff under their boats. Not a bad idea. It's probably something that they got from the TV series. And the way they stop the bad chick, Priyanka Chopra, doesn't make any sense to me. There's this firework display, and The Rock picks up like this Roman candle, this big cannon, shoots the firework at her and blows her up. But when he picks this thing up, you can see that's totally not connected to anything. There's not any wires. There's nothing for like a blasting cap to get to. So that doesn't make any sense. And then you have a bad CGI helicopter flying away from the whole thing. And the Baywatch saved the day. So, just, you know, if you're going to go this route with the comedy, with the R rating, and they have some bad cadaver humor. One weird thing, I've never seen anybody play a scene out inside the drawers at the morgue. So I guess that was kind of inventive. And, you know, I've seen like Bad Boys 2 go under the sheets with a cadaver, right? Is it a cadaver or is it just a body in this case? But yeah, they tried to go for the gross out laughs. I don't think worked. And you're going to actually need somebody known for comedy for that to really be pulled off. And The Rock is not your guy here. The Rock is a guy who should have been doing action movies but wimped out and didn't. That's really what The Rock is. You know, what else is there to say about Baywatch 2017 other than you can easily avoid it? Probably by not having a Hulu subscription. But, you know what? I guess it could have been worse. With that said, I give Baywatch 2017 1.5 out of 4 stars.